Welcome to the Trades Podcast, a podcast about the business of home improvement and promoting the trades to young adults.
This is it right here. This is the Trades Podcast. I'm DJ Danny.
And I'm Jeff.
Yes, and we're recording here in the Ignite BBB podcast studio right here in beautiful San Diego, California. And we are sitting down with Noura Bishay. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
Yes, happy days. Look at you coming in with a big smile. We love it. We want to talk to you about your business. Yeah, the NPB Design Studio, where it says right here, where you heal, you inspire, and you empower. Yes.
Yeah, it's a beautiful story for the NPB Design Studio to start. And our mission is to heal, inspire, and empower our community through design.
Beautiful. Well, introduce yourself to the Trades Podcast world. Let them know who you are, a little bit about the business too. Yeah.
My name is Noura Bishay, and I am a designer. I finished my master's degree in architecture, and I opened my own firm 4 years ago. And before COVID, by 3 months, we just opened.
You got lucky with that one, huh?
Yeah. We opened with an opportunity for my first credit card with $5,000, and that was my capital. And we were at Tiny Fest, and we were representing our company, and a few days later, the shutdown happened.
Okay.
We knew that our company would be mission-driven, but we pivoted into the world of social impact and how can we help our community and change the culture around us. So NPB was born to design spaces that heal, inspire, and empower people through additional dwelling units, through community gardens, through food giving services. We transferred the traditional business ethics to a higher level of ethics.
Good.
That's why we're BBB.
Yes.
Absolutely. So I've been on Noura's website, and very clearly talks about some of the volunteers and the giving that you and your company do through the food and things like that. So we would encourage everybody to look at your website. You want to tell us what the website is again?
Noura, Noura, PB.com.
Okay. So as we talk to her, please remember her website. It's a well-made one. I liked it a lot. I learned a lot about Noura during just doing some research, and I thought she was a great person to begin with. So, and then a great cause. So that's why I invited her on the podcast.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's something that we have, spoken about with companies that have been around for a long time, for over 40 years, or been in business for over 40 years. And that was one thing that they mentioned was the involvement that they have, through the community or through who do work with you as well. The interactions through the culture. And like you said, the ethics is a huge thing too. And being through BBB, as you know, that they have their ethics torch awards, and is that something that you've attended or learned more about on the BBB side of things?
I did attend last year, and I actually got nominated for this year in San Diego and Orange County.
Oh, amazing.
So awesome. So our business is one of the nominated businesses.
Oh, amazing. I've heard that's a very strenuous process to go through, but that's amazing. That's good. What's your experience with it so far?
I think it's a way to discover yourself, because you write a lot about what you're doing and what's your purpose, and it just tests you, and in a deeper level that you have to know what you're doing and what's your end goal.
That was well put about discovering yourself in your business. As a previous business owner, I definitely dug in and looked at that a couple times, and I didn't have that ability. It was too much work for me.
It is too much work.
It is a lot of work.
So when you put the work in it, it helps you through other stuff. It's not just the award itself. Technically, it would be our 10th award that we receive.
Okay.
But it's like the ability to see on paper what you're actually doing. Sometimes life takes us into all of its drama and all of its actions, and you forget what you did. You forget who you are. I mean, it just reminds you of who you are and what you can do in the future.
So the BBB process for being an applicant on the Torch Awards allows you to filter out all the noise and focus on what your real mission is, what's important to you as a business owner, what's important to your business and your clients.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Interesting. That's a very clear perspective on it. Thank you.
That's great. Yeah, I mean, and I think it'd be great. I mean, we haven't had an ADU design expert on the show before, so we would love to learn more about, your background and what led you to get you to the point into the ADU area.
So I'm actually an architect in Egypt, and I came here to study my master's degree in architecture. And after I came here, by 9 months, my family decided to come here and buy a house. And we bought the house thinking we can afford to pay the mortgage and everything. But then my mom lost her job. I was still in school working as a teacher assistant that doesn't pay that much. So how are we going to afford it? So we had the garage, and we said, well, if it's legal to convert our garage to a studio, so let's do that and rent it out. So we started by converting the garage into the studio. We didn't have the money that we wanted to do to pay it, but every time we get some money, we save something, pay one phase of it. Mm-hmm. So let's pay the tiles, let's pay the painter, flooring. Let's put the door in.
Okay.
And step by step, because we didn't have anything, we didn't have the capital to go in and do everything in 1 month. We didn't care. We just step by step. What we have, we can do. And then we rented this studio, and this studio was the only reason we offset our mortgage, was paying for all our mortgage. And guess what? My neighbor knocked on my door and told me, "Can I see the studio that you did? Can you do one for me?"
Yeah.
What an inspiration.
That's when we started.
That's great. That's great. Yeah. And I mean, and through there, I mean, you already went through the experience. You went through the process of what it took to, understand what comes next, and that step-by-step process. So that's great. Yeah. That's how it started.
Yeah, we had the neighbor as our client before we started even our company. And then we found, once we said we are doing it, people referred us to other people, and we grew from there.
That's cool. What type of projects does your company work on right now?
So we are focusing on additional dwelling units. That's the main income. But we also do SB9, which is a new law that passed last year, can qualify a homeowner, single-family dwelling, to have up to 3 units, and we can design it for them. The last project that we did was 3 units, and the existing house, we converted it to senior living. So, 3 income plus the senior. It makes a new level of return on investment.
Right.
Interesting. So did you have to have a big backyard to be able to do 3 units, or you're just chopping up the floor plan inside an existing house to be able to create 3 units?
So
a little of both?
For this particular project, the house was big enough to convert the garage, and then to convert part of the house, and to add a home extension, and to add an ADU in the backyard.
Okay.
So the main thing is we used the second floor too, so we added the second floor.
Okay. So
nice.
So
that's great.
Went up instead of out.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, and if you could, can you dive a little bit more into the SB9 for those that don't know about it?
So yes, sure. SB9 comes in 2 types. One of it is SB9 with lot splitting, and one is non-lot splitting. If you lot split, you can sell one part. Imagine cutting your land into half and selling half of it. The half that you can sell can have one house and one ADU, and the other half can have also a house and an ADU. So if you are in need of rental income, you can add an ADU. If you are in need in a more bigger sum, you can lot split, sell the lot. It's a new way of thinking about single families, because it's going to be multifamily all over here. We have a housing shortage. We need housing as fast as possible. So homeowners also need to think with a paradigm shift how to become a developer, how not to just pay mortgage and think you have an investment, you have a treasure in your house, and how can you multiply your income from it? You're paying the biggest sum for your house. So where is it? What is it bringing you other than you are sleeping in it?
Not only the country, but San Diego very specifically has a housing shortage. So this new law's designed to help alleviate a little bit of the housing shortage.
Yes.
Did they change like any of the rules? Like I know I've done some projects where setbacks were a huge issue. You know, you had to be so far from the property line before you could have a beginning of the building or a beginning of the deck or something.
They did. They made it shorter, 4 feet now.
Okay.
Yeah.
So relax some of the, just enough so that you could walk down the side of the house and get out of the backyard type thing. Yeah.
They are making it way easier, but it still takes time. So if you want an ADU that would give you rental income this month, it's not going to happen. The permit could take up to a year to get it done because there are backlog at the city.
So somebody that lives here in San Diego, is that San Diego city specific, San Diego County, or some of the smaller cities have the same?
Most of the cities have the same problem. A lot of people want ADU and not a lot of reviewers, so it takes time.
But does everybody do all the loop? I mean, obviously you've done it in Lemon Grove.
Yeah.
But in the city of San Diego, as opposed to El Cajon or Poway or Encinitas or whatever, do all the individual cities have the same opportunities?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it's a state law.
It's a state law, so
Yes.
this is across the state.
Yes.
Okay, so you have plenty of room for growth.
Yes. We do, and we're excited for it.
Yeah, absolutely. And are you the one and only designer right now?
No, I'm not. I am the only designer with 10 awards.
10 awards, yes.
And BBB certified and BBB for good verified.
And it sounds like you said, because the reviewers, it sounds like that's a big challenge right now. Are there any other challenges that, homeowners in California specifically are running into in order to add an ADU?
Definitely. I would say the biggest challenge is funding and the paradigm shift from being a homeowner to a developer. A lot of people still think with a homeowner mentality rather than the developer mentality, which is I pay money to get money instead of I'm paying money to live in. And the funding. Last year we had funding from the state, $40,000. It wasn't much, but for each ADU with a homeowner that can apply for a grant. But it wasn't much, and it ran out. This year we don't have any funding opportunities for ADU. If you think about it, most of the homeowners do not understand everything about ADU. That's why we created the ADU show, where we have till now 11 episodes discussing what's the difference between ADU and SB9, and when should you do the garage conversion, when should you do ADU, how to think about your project. Oh my God, the market is full of scams. I can't believe how many clients would call me thinking that the price that a contractor would give them is going to happen after 3 years. The same price.
Right.
It's just unlogic. Everything gets more expensive, and it's not the right ethical way of doing it.
Yeah, I can imagine exactly where those scams come into play. Like you say, a lot of homeowners, like you said, the transition from a homeowner to a developer, and they absolutely see I feel like I've seen them also, the ADU ads of like, add an ADU to your property and you're going to get monthly income. You're going to be paying your own mortgage. You're going to be receiving assistance from the state, anything like that. And it gets people excited. It gets people wanting to look into it more. And then once they actually dive into it, there's a lot of opportunity for people to jump in and, like you said, is not give the most ethical service or even quote. I mean, that's one of the main things of, how much is it going to be? So that's a huge thing. I can't imagine how much stuff is out there that's going to, just sway people to try to not do the right thing.
Yeah, that's why we also advise our homeowners get more than one quote and have a trusted designer or architect next to you. Because if you merge the two together, if you decide to take a contractor with a designer, you are not having the protection that you have. That's one of the difference that we give to our clients. We protect you in front of your contractor.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Is there any regulations if you're adding an ADU or what is that, SB9, where you have multiple rental units on your property now that you have to stay owner occupied, or can the whole thing now just be a rental?
There were, but there isn't. But it wouldn't be implemented till 2025. The state have passed a new law that no owner occupants, but it doesn't apply till 2025.
So if you can get an ADU done this year, completed, you can rent out everything and you're home free for a nice rental income property?
After 2025, yes.
Oh, after 25.
Yeah, if you start the permit today, you will get it by 2025. So
Okay.
Okay.
Very good.
Interesting. And like you said, I mean, one of the major things of why this is being implemented so much in California is the shortage. How long have you been in the business of the ADUs right now?
4 years now.
4 years. So you've been able to see it, like you said, coming out of COVID.
Mm-hmm.
Where do you see this housing shortage? What do you see as this is one of the solutions? But is there anything else in the future that they're thinking of implementing?
To tell you the truth, ADU is a way, but without funding it, you don't have an authority over the rental. Like, if you need housing that is Section 8 or you need housing for people in need, but you don't control it with the money that you put in it, then you're not solving the problem. You're just adding housing as market rate. The people that we need to help cannot afford market rate.
Right.
So if we don't have a system, like a grant that would pay for the ADU, but take the ADU for 5 years as Section 8, this would be in the right direction of having a solution to housing.
Right.
So I'm a member of the Building Industry Association, the BIA, and that's one of the things they talk about for home builders on larger projects. It's so inundated with regulations, so inundated with fees, and on and on. It's very expensive to build a tract of houses or a large apartment complex that you have to build so that you're profitable, otherwise you wouldn't be able to stay in business. But there's regulations that require I think a 10% have to be affordable income, low income housing in the project. And all that does is jack up the price on the other units that they're selling. So very complicated problem that California has, if not the nation. And that is not going to be solved by, like you said, building a few ADUs in people's particular homes. It has to be solved on the state level with lack or changes in the regulations. And that's way past my pay scale to be able to articulate what those need to be. But the core problem is at the state level as far as the regulations that they put on the cost of building.
It's a challenge to build in California. That's how I would put it.
It is.
It is. It's complicated. Every day there's a new rule. And if it's not affecting the first rule, it will not survive.
When you're helping people design their ADU or splitting the lot or the different processes, do you help with the regulations and the building permits? Or
We do draft the permits and get the permits. We do not put the rules. We don't help with the rules, but we do follow the rules.
That makes perfect sense. But you're helping process the permits, and you're helping the customer pick a builder to do the project. You're not doing any of the building.
No, I don't do any of the building. I'm not a contractor. I can supervise. I can be a project manager.
Yeah, you can show up and consult on this is the intent of the design. You're getting a little off track.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. If they have an issue, I can fix it. But other than that, I actually don't recommend any contractors. I give them a list of the contractors that other clients worked with and they liked. But again, I always tell my clients, interview all of them and think about a contractor as a marriage, because you're going to stay with him for a year building this project.
Yeah.
So think about it as a long relationship. Don't just trust anybody.
Well, it's actually, if it takes a year to do the build, you still got 10 years of the builders being responsible according to the license board being responsible too. So it's a very appropriate. You're married to this contractor for a long time.
Yeah. And guess what? When I was building my second ADU in my house, I changed 3 contractors.
Okay.
But it was during COVID. One disappeared and another came. So that's what happened.
Go with the flow.
You go with the flow, or you will take the delays, and you don't want to delay because every delay costs money.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, time is money, and it's an opportunity. One, like you said, to help those in need, if that's the goal, or on the other side where you are absolutely, looking at the ADU as an investment. Absolute full investment. Like you said, it was able to help you and your family pay the mortgage in the end. And for different designs, is there a difference between passive designs to make them sustainable, flexible, practical, and what's on the other side?
The designs that we offer is sustainable designs that are oriented in a passive way, so that you don't need too much electricity for the AC. It's ventilated through the windows. You have cross ventilation, so you're using the wind to clean up the space instead of not using the wind at all. You're placing the trees around the building so that the shade can come on the side that is the south facade, so that it doesn't have heat penetrate into your house. So that's thinking and planning every step before you build it. So that's what we do. We think about every inch of your house, every inch of your ADU, and how it will make you feel, how it will reflect your authentic self. That's why we offer customization, because we love seeing different homes, seeing the home that reflects you.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of building techniques that I've been trying to learn about that utilize this. Like you said, if you have a south-facing house, then you plant the trees at a certain distance. They will shade it during the peak of the summer, but if during the winter, if they're airflow and let the sunlight come in.
Yeah.
Finding that balance, that kind of design. So it's not just how to get the most square footage out of the house. There's other components to it. Sounds like that you guys take into the design process. Interesting.
Yeah, and we always tell our clients we do sustainable, flexible, and comfortable spaces. So with the change in everything around us, you need to be more flexible, more like this space could be this or this. It could be a bedroom, but it could be an office too. Or how would you merge the both together? Or like during COVID, every bedroom was an office. So how was it functioning? So yeah, we take it to the next level of like, what are you going to do? And we sit with our clients and give them the time to understand who they are, what they are, where are they coming from, what are the colors that they like, what are the art pieces that they like. I had a client that had a collection of 150 art pieces. And I was redesigning her house and putting each piece where.
Right.
Incredible. That's a lot of wall space.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
And we had to survey every piece with like the picture and the measurements of it. And
As you're explaining your process that you have with your clients, and is there any technology implemented that you share with your clients on the design, and or what type of technology do you see through the ADU process that you provide?
So we actually do a walkthrough video. So we design the project on softwares on the computer, and then we either provide render images or walkthrough videos where they can see every single detail as if the building is built already, and how are they walking and what are they seeing, and even with plants, like which plant is it and which plant is blocking the view for something else that we don't want to see, and which plant is like a vibrant red and wants you to see it. And this allows our clients to understand the whole process and what to expect before they build it. And then if they want to fix anything or change anything, we can do that before they are implementing it, because fixing it on the computer is way easier and cheaper than fixing it on a site like Jeff would know that.
So you give hardscape designs also with your
yes, of course,
building plan designs.
Yes, we do interior design, landscape design, and ADU designs.
Oh, great. Yeah. And the response I'm sure that you get from having those steps, helps them be a little, nicer to you, I would imagine, but also for just a little weight off their shoulders, where they feel a lot easier to work with, and that they, like you said, the full transparency is a huge thing, I imagine, because again, it's a relationship that not only with you, but with the contractors and beyond, when the project is before, during, and after the project's done.
Yeah, I think about our firm as a concierge design office. So we help you with everything you need.
Right.
And we take you baby steps, because we know that you don't have the total experience about construction. We take you gradually till we graduate you as a developer.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you go through an education process.
Yes, of course.
With your clients also.
Of course.
Interesting. Anything else you want to tell us about ADUs before we move on to your giving? Yeah.
The most important thing about ADU is a site visit. If your designer or architect didn't come to your site, don't expect a good design. Don't expect that they would give you 100%. When we do a site visit, we do a photo study. We do research before we go to the site. Get all the information about the zoning, regulation, and everything. And then we go and meet the client for 1 hour and speak with him or her about the project and their vision and their dream, and brainstorm the ideas. And we'll push you. We'll give you questions that will make you say no or yes and force you to take decisions.
Okay.
Because we want to know your limits. Of like, is this possible? Is this not possible? If you have maybe a tree in your backyard, some people would want to keep the tree, and some other people would not care. But is it the best choice to remove the tree or not? That's another thing. And then after that, we go to the city with a scope of work of what you want to do, and verify it with the city. So all of this is considered a site visit. If a site visit isn't 5 minutes at the site, you tell me you want to build 800 square feet ADU. No, it's not like that. Oh, I will ask you a lot of questions. Expect me to ask you a lot of questions, or don't get me. That's the most important thing. The first visit is the most important thing. Yeah. If you ignore it, you will get the result.
That sets the stage for the further discussions and the further exploring what's possible, exploring what's financially possible for them.
Yes.
So do you give them an idea of, this is in my opinion, you're going to have to verify with the builder, but this is $100,000 example build, and do you have the resources for that? Do you have the equity to borrow against, or do you get into that with the customers at all?
No. And if they ask me about prices, I tell them to go ask a contractor before you build it. When you have the permit, do not ask a contractor before you build it.
Right.
Because without a permit, without the plans, the contractor will just give you an estimate. And since the permit takes a lot of time, the estimate will never be holding till the time that you're building. So don't waste your time searching for prices without having a permit.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. So if you have a client that says, I'm only going to spend out of pocket, I have $80,000 sitting in the bank right now. That's my budget.
I put them in the right direction with like the cost per square feet,
Okay.
but not an accurate estimate. And at the same time, there are some stuff that I can do that can decrease the prices, like finishings or using a specific door rather than 4 folded doors or something like that. So yeah, there are some stuff that we can do to reduce the cost and keep under the budget. But we do have to concentrate that this is an investment. Sometime one door can make or break this ADU.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you add the door that has the view and it's the best view ever, how many people want to live in it? And it's an investment that lasts.
Right. Yeah.
Interesting.
That's great. I mean, great info.
I'm learning a lot.
Yeah, me too, on the ADU side of things. But I mean, like Jeff had mentioned in the beginning of the show that you are big on giving. You're part of the BBB for Good verified, area for the BBB Better Business Bureau. Can you talk a little bit more about your social impacts and your projects that you work on?
Yes, I would love to.
Yes.
So yeah, as I mentioned before, we opened 3 months before COVID. And when COVID hit and everybody was hoarding food and not giving, and I was shocked of what's happening. I was volunteering in a food pantry, and they had extra food that they used to leave it for the community center. Seniors would come and take it. But then because of COVID and the shutdown, they didn't have any place to store it. And they didn't know what to do with it. So they were going to trash it. So I said, well, give me some of it and I'll try to find people who needs it. So I took some of the food and placed it in front of my house on a table, took a picture and shared it on social media, Facebook and Nextdoor. And in 3 days, we fed 15 families.
Wow.
With the food that was supposedly going to trash. And because of COVID, all the pantries were getting extra food, but then they couldn't say that they have extra food because they won't get enough.
Yeah.
So we were rescuing the food from all nonprofits and putting it in front of my house. And the best thing about our table, it's called the Table of Hope, was that it was open 24/7, no questions asked, and you can take whatever you want. Food is a culture. So most of the nonprofits at that time were putting boxes of food and giving it to your car, not to yourself, so no dignity at all.
Mm-hmm.
And then you open the box and you find 10 items. 5 of them are something that you never heard about, never will use.
Cans of garbanzo beans.
Yeah.
Pass it on.
Yeah. So the table was there
Right.
for people to exchange food that they didn't want, to get the food that they want, and to find community. And I can't believe it, but we reached 900 people on our Facebook group.
Incredible.
Yeah. And we were more than that actually during COVID. It's amazing how many people came together, and we didn't fund all of the table. Yani, the community adopted us and made us who we are. So yeah, the food was there 24 hours. And then our neighbor complained, then we had to shut down the table. But we still have a Table of Hope group on Facebook. and we still are listed for emergency food. And we still get people who are on unemployment or waiting for food stamps, because when you apply for a food stamp, you don't get the food. You have a process of 2 weeks to a month to get the food.
Takes a little while.
But people cannot survive without food. We pivoted into connecting people in need of food to donors who have food, and we connect them through messaging system, and the person who needs food will give us their address and their shopping list, and we'll try to deliver the list to them.
That's incredible.
That's great.
What a small giving concept has grown to something that's doing good for a lot of people now. Huh?
Thank you. And it didn't stop at that. Also, it went into, we were afraid of the food chain because during COVID, the truck drivers were getting COVID, and how are we going to function? So we asked the neighbors to donate their backyards so that we can create community gardens. And we did that twice. We designed and implemented twice, and we designed a third one that we didn't implement yet. And the scenario was, we're going to build a community garden, plant it, take the food to the table so that we can have fresh produce for the table all the time. And the concept of satellite community gardens will make San Diego a more sustainable city. Part of the reason that we did Table of Hope is because a lot of single mothers, because they had kids with autistic or disability, and they couldn't wait in lines in cars for 8 hours to get the food, that half of it they won't use.
Incredible.
And so, having a food resource that is open 24/7 was necessity. And it was an honor to do it for the community. And the Gardens of Hope are a way for us to say that we can help more, and we can help more. And then now we're doing the second She Makes History Award, which is an award for women in business, leadership, and community. We want to highlight that there are a lot of women who deserve our recognition and deserve to be shared and cherished. Last year we gave the award to 30 women, and this year we're giving it to another 30 women. It's happening on the 28th of September in Tustin Ranch Golf Club. It's a big formal event, and we'd love it if you guys come and show your support to our women. We also have opportunities for businesses to sponsor our event. Every person has a story, but it's 3 times as hard for a woman to survive in this community. And we know that, and we want to make it easier for others to come and be inspired by these successful women who accomplished great stuff.
Absolutely.
And you're organizing all that?
Yes.
Awesome. Please get us the information. Is there regulations, like in the city of San Diego, that you can convert your grass front lawn into a garden? Or can't?
Technically, there's nobody to stop you. No regulations that would stop you. The regulation would be like heights and stuff like that, but I don't think this would apply to a community garden. Like, it doesn't really affect it. But
it won't work at every house.
Every site is different.
Because I have read that it only takes a little bit more water to run a full-size garden on the same square foot as you would have a grass lawn.
Oh, yeah, definitely. We do drip irrigation with timer. 5 minutes water every day would be more than enough.
Right.
Even sometimes 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, adding in drip irrigation and controlling it would probably take less than a grass lawn.
Oh, of course. Definitely less.
Interesting.
Yeah. I mean,
you've started a movement.
Yeah, started a movement. I mean, through the giving, and like you said, it just absolutely uplifts the community on the resources and being able to rely on your neighbors. Yeah. I think that's a huge thing, like you said. And there's a culture behind food. There's a culture behind giving, and that's great that you're bringing that back through you found that through your business, and it seems like it's continuing to grow. You said it was 30 awards for the women, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
30 awards.
Yeah. Our mission is to empower. So how not can we empower women, other
Exactly.
women around us who have businesses, who have done absolutely amazing stuff for the community.
Yeah. Heal, inspire, and empower.
Mm-hmm.
That's amazing. Noura, it's been amazing just to kind of talk to you about all your business, the NPB Design Studio. And again, I have the website right here, npbdesign.com. And you also gave us the website. It was your name, nourapb.com. That's NOURAPB.com for everybody to check out. And if anybody else is just looking to directly get involved with your missions and your giving, what is the best way to reach out to you?
Go on my website, send me an email, or fill in the application for contacting us. That's the best way. Or you can call me directly, 619-450-9876.
Amazing. So thank you so much. And like you had mentioned, there's even a ADU school that you have online too. So anybody that's looking to get more education on that, I'm sure she has that on the website that you can click on and check out. So again, we haven't had someone like you on the show, so it's perfect to learn more about the ADU side of things.
What an honor. Absolutely. So glad you came down here.
Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate your invitation, and I'm looking forward to other interviews.
Yeah, good. Absolutely. We definitely, I know there's definitely more to talk about, more about your community impact. So thank you again.
Thank you.
Superior Floor and Cabinet Designs is one of the landmark family-owned businesses in Encinitas. Owner Cheryl Robertson, with years of customer experience managing her family's hardware and cabinet business in North Park. Cheryl Robertson and the Superior team dive deep to learn about your project and help you find the perfect solution for your flooring and cabinetry needs. Call today at 760-436-0900 or visit www.superiorfloors.com.